Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Online Ranked. Today I'm going to be doing a deck profile video, and throughout this week I'm going to be focusing on the Harpy's archetype. I'm going to be playing this on two games. First I'm going to be doing this on Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist and showing off what my January 2015 Harpy build was like today. Then a little bit later on tonight there should be a video of me playing some duels online in online ranked with some captured footage of that. Then tomorrow I'm going to take this deck and put it on into Yu-Gi-Oh! Dev Pro and play it with the current 2016 environment. A quick apologies to my regular subscribers. I know I haven't really been doing as consistent content as I normally have. I had an issue a couple of weeks ago which I spoke about in a previous video that most people seem to know about now. And to be honest with you, and I've said this again, I feel like a broken record, but I really have found the transition between Legacy of the Duelist to Dev Pro quite difficult. This is probably the hardest format I've ever played in. You know, my original plan was to kind of have my older decks and revisit them in the 2016 environment, but so far all the decks I've tried out in the 2016 environment are so vastly underpowered and severely hit by the new current list and all the cards that are currently out that they just simply can't compete, and it isn't even worth making a video over. So I'm hoping that it goes a little bit better this week. I think Harpies do stand a slight chance in the meta. Definitely nothing which is going to be top tier, but I do think they have the tools to make it really well in this meta, and I really found them fun in the 2015 meta. So let's get to my deck profile for this one. This is my 2015 deck here. To be honest with you, I can't even remember it. It's been so long since I played this one, but I remember it working really well. I had one copy of Black Queen Sephiroth the Elite, just for a quick special summoning. There's no real way of getting him into the graveyard quite quickly with this deck, just scanning the cards. No, there isn't really. But he is a card that's easy revival in this deck. The way he works is that if this card is in your graveyard, you can return one face-up card you control to the hand, special summon this card, and if you do, take 400 damage. So if he's in the graveyard, and I have something which I regularly have face-up, such as a face-up continuous spell card, field card, or continuous trap card, which there are plenty in this deck. Or even a monster. As long as I return one face-up card from the field to my hand, he can come back on the field, and typically I can use him to make some quick rank 4 plays, and I have a large assortment of rank 4s in this deck here. Then I have two copies of Cyber Harpy Lady. I actually might change this right now. I'm going to take out and make it only one copy of Cyber Harpy Lady. My preferred ratio is to do one Cyber Harpy Lady and two Harpy Lady 1. And I think with this deck there's enough swarming potential in here so that that could kind of work. Normally I would run more Cyber Harpy Lady if I didn't think I could keep Harpy Lady 1 on the field for very long, but I think I might be able to with this deck, so I'd rather go for that one there. Cyber Harpy Lady and Harpy Lady 1 are all considered as Harpy Lady, so you can only have 3 copies of them between them in your deck, so that's the reason why I'm only running one of these and 2 of those, whereas opposed to all the other Harpy Ladies, they are only called Harpy Lady when they're on the field and in the graveyard. Sorry, losing my voice there a little bit. Alright, well, since I've been talking about her, Harpy Lady number 1. Harpy Lady number 1 is a level 4 wind monster with 1300 attack, but she gives all wind monsters on your field 300 attack bonus. That is a really nice buff to some certain cards, particularly Harpy Queen and Cyber Harpy Lady, as it pushes them beyond 2000 attack, which can help get over some threats in the game. Not many threats, but some threats, so having her as a boost is really nice, and of course the more of her you have, the stronger the boost is overall. Then we have Harpie Channeler. Harpie Channeler is one of the best cards Harpies have gotten in recent years, and this card works as follows. You can discard one Harpy card, special summon one Harpy monster from your deck in face-up defense position except Harpie Channeler. So she is a searcher, and because she doesn't need to search out Harpy Lady, she just searches out Harpy cards. She can search out pretty much any Harpy card from the deck, whereas something like Elegant Egotist can only search Harpy Lady. Be aware of those differentiations. It makes this card a lot better than, say, Elegant Egotist. Just be aware of that kind of thing. Also, because you can discard one Harpy card, you can also discard Hysteric. I don't know if you can discard a Hysteric Party actually, but I know you can discard Harpy's Hunting Ground. Harpy Dancer. Harpy Dancer combos really well with Harpy Channeler because, oh, sorry, I forgot the other effect of Harpy Channeler. My apologies. While you control a dragon type monster, this card's level becomes 7. I don't really use that effect. As you can see, I have no dragon cards in this deck, but you can use her with other dragon cards and do some, say, rank 7 plays if you want to do that, but that's not what I really focus on. And of course, she's Harpy Lady when she's on the field and in the graveyard. Harpy Dancer. Harpy Dancer, you can target one wind monster you control, return it to the hand, then you can normal summon one wind monster. You can only use this effect of Harpy Dancer once per turn. This card's name becomes Harpy Lady while it's on the field and on the graveyard, or in the graveyard. So I would use Harpy Dancer typically to bounce a couple of cards back from the field back to my hand, including herself, and then normal summon it again. So you could play her with, say, Harpy's Hunting Ground on the field, trigger Harpy's Hunting Ground effect off, then take her back to your hand, and then summon it again if you wanted to do that twice in a turn. Or you could basically search her out of the deck and then swap her for a different card in your hand if that was more appropriate. It's nice, it's flexible, it's really easy to use, so yeah, I've got 3 copies of her in there. Harpy Lady, the one we've spoken about, and then there's Harpy Queen. Harpy Queen is the strongest Harpy Lady, not including Harpy Lady's sisters, and she has 1900 attack, but she could also be discarded from your hand to the graveyard to search out Harpy's Hunting Ground, which is a really, really good field spell card for this deck. And yeah, while this is on the field or in the graveyard, it's Harpy Lady. Really, just a good beat stick, a really, really strong monster is what you'll be attacking most of with. And the fact that she can send herself to the graveyard works really, really well when trying to load up the graveyard for Hysteric Party, which I'll talk about later on. Then we have Elegant Egotist. I love this card. I think this card has been super underrated. I think it's really, really good at just searching out another level 4 monster from your deck. And you can just special summon any Harpy Lady from your deck to the field. Be aware that you can only special summon Harpy Lady, so there's only Cyber Harpy Lady or the 2 Harpy Lady ones. And I've actually considered maybe taking a copy of this out of the deck. However, I'll leave it at 2, and then maybe in the week if I test it out, I'll change it. Similarly, we have Harpy's Hunting Ground. This card is a fantastic effect. First, it gives all your Wing Beast monsters 200 attack and defense. Not really great, but giving Harpy Lady 2100 attack is nice. When your Harpy Ladies are normal summoned or special summoned, the time that you special summon it, you get to destroy one spell or trap card on the field. So you can normal summon a monster, then destroy one spell or trap card for free. If you get to do that at least 2 more times, it's paid for itself and you're +1 in advantage. It's a really, really good resource for your card economy. But I only run 3 copies of this right now because I found it would clog the hand sometimes. However, in the current format in 2016, I might actually run more copies of this. Hysteric Sign. When this card is activated, add 1 Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. During the end phase of this turn, this card was sent from the field or graveyard. Add up to 3 Harpies cards with different names from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Hysteric Sign effect per turn and only once that turn. This card is another searcher. It is really, really good, a really, really strong searcher card. First of all, you get to search out Elegant Egotist or bring it back from the graveyard if it's already been used, and that's really good because it does more special summoning for yourself. Also, if it's destroyed, you get to search out 3 Harpy Lady cards or Harpy cards from your deck to your hand, including the field spell, and it's really, really good at just searching out more tools. Sometimes players will even destroy this themselves using Harpy's Hunting Ground. Just be careful that you can only use 1 of these effects per turn, so if you play it on the field face up and then you search out Elegant Egotist and it gets destroyed that turn, then you can't then search out 3 cards later on. You have to make sure it's destroyed on a certain turn. Sometimes I'll even play this face down, and or I'll even discard it. Sometimes I think you can work so if you discard it for certain effects. Sometimes I'll do that without actually playing it face up to get Elegant Egotist, just so I can get the 3 cards added to my hand. A really, really good searcher effect for this deck. Then we've got 2 copies of MST and 1 copy of Raigeki. And those cards are self-explanatory: destroy spells and traps and destroy monsters. Then I have 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and this is kind of why I wanted to play this card in the current format. Anti-Spell Fragrance is a really cool card. It's a really old-fashioned card, but it's a really good card. And what it does is it forces both players to set spell cards before activating them and cannot activate them until their next turn. It's a really fantastic floodgate card. It really hurts pendulum decks, which are very popular right now, and also many other decks which also rely on spell cards. So having this on the field is really, really good, and the reason why I run 3 copies of it is because I really want it in my first opening turn if I can get it ASAP. I might modify this deck later on and add more cards such as Pot of Duality so that I can get this card out later on, particularly in the newer format. But for the time being, I'll keep it there at 3, and yeah, I'll leave it there for the time being. Then we got 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole to destroy special summon monsters. Compulsory evacuation device to send monsters from the extra deck back to the deck. Fiendish Chain at 3 to negate monster effects. That's something which is really unique about, or different about this format to the next one. Single targeted control or field negation doesn't really seem to work too well in the current format, particularly if it's from the field. Effect Fader works well, but I think cards like Fiendish Chain don't seem to work really well because players can spam the field with so many monsters. Fiendish Chain has lost a lot of popularity, so I'm going to find replacements for that in the future. Hysteric Party is really good. Hysteric Party is your swarming card. It can be considered a win condition card. You discard 1 card from your hand, and then special summon as many copies of Harpy Lady as possible from your graveyard. When this face-up card leaves the field, destroy those monsters. Typically, you won't even have to worry about the second effect, because even if you were worried about, say, they being destroyed in the next turn or so, you could XC your monsters and special summon some rank 4s, which you would often find yourself doing because the XC monsters are really, really good. 1 copy of Icarus Attack. Icarus Attack is a fantastic trap card. Tribute 1 Wing Beast monster on the field, then target 2 cards on the field and destroy them. Fantastic card, very versatile. It could be even good against Pendulum decks, so that's a really, really great card to have. I like that it could even be changed to face that Wavering Eyes, so there's that too. Solemn Morning, negate summons. And Torrential Tribute to clear the field. You don't normally worry too much about clearing the field in this deck because there is a good amount of revival, and there's lots and lots of search in this deck. And 3 copies of Vanity's Emptiness just for field control. I literally just swapped those out for the 2 copies of Mirror Force which I had, although I might have to change those later on. We'll see how it goes. For the extra deck, we've got Abyss Dweller for graveyard control. I won't read all of these. Abyss Dweller for graveyard control. I'm taking out Kayn Gorgon. That's really don't need that. 2 copies of Castel, who's also a wing beast, which is awesome. 1 copy of Cowboy. 1 copy of Harpy's Phantasmal Dragon. This card is really cool. The way it works is you need 3 level 4 wind monsters. This card can attack your opponent directly, and it's got 2,000 attack, so pretty good for that. Your opponent cannot target any Harpies monsters with effects or for attack, so it protects itself and your other Harpy cards. During each end phase, attach 1 XC material for this card. I don't really use this that much, but it can be a game-winning card. Although, to be honest, there are some other cards which kind of do the same job that I could put in there too. Lightning Chidori, however, is really good. 2 level 4 wind monsters that you need. And when this is XE summon, target 1 set card your opponent controls and return that target to the bottom of the deck. Now, I don't know if this is really useful in the current format, but in January 2015 format, there's still a lot of setting cards on the field, so that can be useful. And then once per turn, you can attach 1 XE material from this card to target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and return it to the top of their deck. So it's a nice spin effect, and because it doesn't destroy, that could be useful in some way, particularly for getting rid of extra monster threats, so, you know, it could be good. Then we got 2 copies of Silent Honor Arc, 2 copies of Ragnar Zero, 1 copy of Utopia. I don't really need that in this deck, to be honest with you. And then 1 copy of Raid Raptor Rise Falcon. I can't believe I didn't realize that that Raid Raptors were actually in Legacy of the Duelist. I thought they were a newer archetype, but apparently they were around at the time. They just weren't really playable. I'm not sure why I really have this card. Once per turn, you can attach 1 XE material from this card. Yeah, no, I'm going to take this out. I'm not even going to use that, really. If I had to add a couple more rank 4s to this deck to make use of it, I would go for Exeter Knight, Dagastal Emerald, and maybe Lavalval Chain. Where's Lavalval Chain? To send more cards to the graveyard. We will see. Anyway, that's my current deck, guys. Hopefully, this has been awesome to some people who are still playing Legacy of the Duelist. Look out for later on in my channel. Shouldn't be too long from now, but I am going to have a Duelist, a video of me playing this in a duel, and throughout the rest of the week I'm going to be just testing this deck out more and trying out a couple of things with it. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and I will see you soon.